Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Podcast, the only show that's probably going to be split into two parts because of reasons. Joining me this week is Shane. Hi, Shane.
The yawning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also joining me this week is Josh, as always. Burped.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Freaking, this Tim Hortons is making me gassy.
You say that like a Boston person?
I'm trying to say it like that freaking cousin that Kyle has.
Oh, okay. I know the one.
Yeah, you know the one. And oh man, I just looked at my Twitter and a freaking comic artist liked my shitty little freaking comic I made.
What comic?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Freaking wait, hold on. I'll copy the stupid link. Freaking. Here's the news. I got an artist on Twitter to like my shit. It's so it's so stupid.
Where did he sit on?
Okay, so you have to out of context is pretty good. I love it, but
I can't imagine it makes too much sense in context.
That's a good way to start a podcast. Okay, so to give it a little bit of context, is that basically this comic artist drew a comic about, oh man, he hates his job, he fucking just wants to quit it, he just wants to leave, and then the coffee fairy comes by, gives him a coffee, and he's like, oh man, this isn't so bad, I can keep continuing. And I comment back to him, I'm like, wait, where's my coffee fairy? And he replied back, did you check the chair before you sat down? Oh no. And I drew him a shitty MS Paint version of the same artwork he does. It's like these kind of stick figure people. And the pink thing is supposed to be the fairy, and the brown smudge is supposed to be the coffee. And he replied back with the freaking surprise face. Like, has a blue, it's fear face, sorry. It just hands on either side and a blue top on top of the blue with the happy face on it. This is I love how fucking stupid it is. Just so stupid. Yeah. I mean, you can use that as a fucking podcast image if you want.
That is the podcast image for this week, motherfucker. Fuck off.
Oh god, I sure hope Rory just like sees this just at a glance and he goes, what the fuck?
Don't worry, I'll take him. It will be okay. Anything we want to talk about this week, guys?
I don't know. There's that 90s simulator video game ?
What?
Yeah, it's so weird. I have it on my Steam account. Hold on. Okay, be warned. I did not play this, but I watched a live stream of it, someone playing it. And basically it's someone made a video game that is based off of the your experience from 1999 website viewing. So but the funny thing is about this website viewing is like the point of this game is that you are a moderator or admin, and you're trying to make sure nothing, no one's abusing anyone else, no one is putting out malicious software on this website, no one is doing all this stuff. And your job is to and basically you're sifting through all these different websites and just trying to make sure there's nothing horribly wrong with them. And at the same time, these websites are beautifully made to look exactly like they're 1999. Like it's just amazing. If I can just figure out the freaking name of the game. Hold on, let me get my wish list. God damn it! I hate it when Steam changed up the wish list thing, so it's like, oh, we sorted it, and it's like that's great, but fuck, I can't remember where my shit is. Ordered, no. Review, release date, no, what the, god damn it. It was just here. Oh wait, I know how to find it. Great podcasting.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah.
This is always a good show.
Twitch.
Shane, do you miss being on the podcast?
Of course I do.
That's a lie. Please tell me that's a lie.
I'm just gonna delete Allan. I am now Allan.
Yeah. Okay. You can do that.
Perfect.
Oh boy.
I've been looking for, because something came to my mind today that I was thinking about, and then I sat down and forgot about it.
It was
You'll figure it
dance.
out. No, just keep thinking about it.
Oh, I know what it was. I'm just gonna write this. Done and done.
Shitty Capcom writing. Huh.
It's been bugging me for, what day is it? The 15th?
Yeah.
So, 4 years.
Oh, I found the game. Anyway, you keep going to your thing. We'll come back to mine.
Does anyone else, because Devil May Cry 5 came out recently,
Oh yeah.
and I've been watching some friends of mine stream it. I'm too poor to afford it, and I really don't care.
Yeah.
But it looks cool, but it has this terrible problem that every Capcom game has had since, I'm trying to think, like 2007 maybe? They've had this problem with their writing, just having some of the shittiest expositions, like, in the history of games. Because I remember playing Bayonetta on the PS3, and at one point, basically the sidekick, like the Joe Pesci kind of guy in Bayonetta, is like in the car with Bayonetta, and he just like dumps her entire life story to her. And I remember I was sitting on my couch, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious with this? This is unacceptable. This is some of the worst writing I've ever heard in my life." And then, like, when I was playing Monster Hunter World back in August, the same thing happened. And then I went back, and I'm playing, like, all these Capcom games. They're all like
funny thing is, Bayonetta's not Capcom, it's Platinum.
Oh, you're right, it's Sega.
Yeah. But I think what you're trying to say is, like, man, Japanese don't know how to write a story for some reason. Some do. Some really know how to do it. But yeah, their expedition dumps for some of these games are just not great.
Yeah, because I remember when I was watching the trailer for Devil May Cry 5, like, even the trailer had exposition dumps in it. I was like, stop. It's like an epidemic with these people.
Well, they need to explain things to people because they're assuming that this is probably going to be the first game in the series that they jump on.
Oh, it's so bad.
It is. It's also like one of those things where it's like, I think that it's like, as a seasoned gamer, it's like we're the crotchety old men, whereas like gaming doesn't really care about us right now.
I don't think that's, well, that might be true.
Like,
but,
I mean,
like, they're trying to appeal to everyone. They're not trying to appeal to us. And the moment that they do appeal to us is the moment that people get upset and offended, because like Devil May Cry 5 being announced, like a lot of people were very excited about it. A lot of longtime fans were being very excited about it.
Yeah.
And like Resident Evil 2, a lot of longtime fans of Resident Evil were very excited about it. So they're trying to, it's kind of this weird balancing act where it's like you have people who you want to bring in new fans to this genre and this community and stuff like that. And then you have people who are new and like this is their first game in the series, instead of doing what we were more likely to do, which is go to an old game store and pick up an old copy of Devil May Cry and an old console. So like that would be my theory behind it. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, a lot of games are like afraid, I think. And a lot of developers are afraid to, like, exclude people from their games. But with some exceptions, like From Software and Atlas and shit like that. But I'm looking, like, behind my computers, all my old PS2 games, because I set up my PS2 again. And
I've got to freaking do that too, but...
and I'm looking at Castlevania Lament of Innocence, and I'm just thinking of Symphony of the Night. Because Castlevania Requiem, whatever, HD, Dreams, and Knuckles came out. And it had, what was it, Castlevania, Dracula X, and Symphony of the Night in it. And, Symphony of the Night's this weird game. If you haven't, I'm assuming every single human being on Earth has played it, but for those people who are listening who haven't played it, there's like half of the game is like a secret that flips the castle upside down. And you could go through the whole game and not do that, and then you would literally miss half of the game. But when the original Requiem collection came out I think it was on PSP, you had to beat Dracula X to unlock Symphony of the Night. So it wasn't like an HD collection where you just played one or the other, you know, when you buy like Master Chief Collection, for example, and it's like, you can play Halo Combat Evolved 2 or 3. This one's like, you play Dracula X. And if you beat it, because Dracula X is, like, the final boss of Dracula X is actually impossible. But if you manage to beat it, the last scene in Dracula X is the first scene in Symphony of the Night, and then it just bleeds into Symphony of the Night. And no developer would do that nowadays, because when they put out the new one, they're just like, which game do you want to play? It's Symphony of the Night. Nobody fucking wants to play Dracula X.
I actually specifically bought an old Castlevania for the PSP because it had not unreleased, but just an older version of another Castlevania in that game, which is way better than the one they put out.
There's a lot of really good Castlevania games, like on handheld, like Dawn of Sorrow and that kind of shit.
Yeah. Dawn of Sorrow was one of them. Another one was that fucking one for the DS that had the stupid artwork for the game was Player's Choice, but that was their fucking like cover art for the game. The cover art was in the fucking Player's Choice, like.
Weird. It was like
remember that one?
The cover for the cover for the box was just a picture of a box of the game.
Yeah, it was so stupid. But like that was, but the funny thing was the game was really good. But it's like, why did you fuck up the box art so bad?
Yeah, that was a great time.
That was a great time.
Oh god, that's awesome.
It's so weird. I know. Actually, I'm looking over my PS2 collection, and I'm like, funny thing what you're saying about like, we gotta accept more people into want to accept more people into video games, stuff like that. I'm like, technically the freaking action, Devil May Cry, I forget what it's called, action shooter or whatever. Technical fighter or whatever. That's like
action adventure,
yeah, like action adventure game. Like technically, those types of games is like kind of hard to get into in general because some of the stuff you have to do kind of requires you to pay attention and actively know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like if anything, I remember distinctly way back in the PS2 era of me playing the first Devil May Cry and being like, oh shit, this game is tough, and oh man, my big brother Joe, he can only get to like halfway in the game. Like, Jesus, this shit is hard. And nowadays it's like, I can actually comprehend what I'm doing, but it's still going to be pretty tough to get through.
I mean, yeah. I'm very excited in order to try out. I'm very excited to try out Devil May Cry. I kind of want to buy the collection and just play through it all, because I think for me, I think that would be a good experience for me. I have never played Symphony of the Night because I'm bad.
It's a long game.
If you think was it Konami? They had that's all the. You think they ever released like, oh, you want all the Castlevanias?
If Konami was smart,
here's all the Castlevanias, and people just flip their fucking shit.
If Konami was smart, they would do what Master Chief Collection is doing and just re-release everything on PC.
Yeah, and maybe at like $15 a pop.
Super pack.
Yeah,
like $200 gets you every Castlevania game since Castlevania 1.
Yeah, and including Lord of Shadows and stuff like that, but Konami doesn't like money, so I guess we'll never get that.
Exactly. Like, man, there's so many things. Like, man, you guys just hate money. But I'm sure there's some sort of, like, licensing, or maybe, like, oh, we don't have the code for it anymore, or, oh, we fucking lost all the art assets somewhere because Japanese companies are terrible for that.
Well, it's like it's called they used all the asset money in order to go to pachinko machines, so they continue making billions of dollars without putting in any effort.
So, man, whoever's in control of that company is just like the evilest fucker on the face of the earth, isn't he?
Define evilest.
Most evil.
Actually, you know what? Most greedy.
He's not like EA's executive, who I'm just waiting for him to just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna close down BioWare now because seems like a smart thing to do. Yeah.
The hell impression is that?
Evil corporation asshole.
Who's smoking 10 packs a day?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
they all smoke cigars.
Yeah,
oh, you're right.
I'm pretty sure the Konami execs, all the worst thing that they do is they sit there and they're just like, you know, we should just kill this guy. Get rid of him. He's making too much of a noise. If you get
today, I learned the CEO of Konami, this Japanese company, is Russian.
I thought it was Italian.
Let's compromise.
He massacred my boy.
Yep.
The Italian Russian.
Konami's run by Italian Russians, it turns out.
It turns out they're run by mobsters the entire time. Oh!
So, we gotta understand that the gambling industry is far more valuable than this video game business.
I mean, funny thing is like SNK used to be just nothing but pachinko machine manufacturers, and then the laws changed. And then they're like, well, we're going back to video games.
Right.
Like, it's so weird.
Yeah. It's Japan's weird. But it's probably going to be something where you're going to see them come back, and it's going to be like this big fan servicey thing.
Probably.
Most likely.
I think the only way they're going to come back is like their current CEO drops dead somehow. Just drops dead. New one comes in and goes, you know, we're just sitting on this good shit and not doing anything with it, so how about we do something about it?
Right.
Like, man, so many companies are just like kind of sitting on good shit and just not do anything with it.
Right. It's weird.
And like, I understand you want to catch the new craze, but you don't have to.
I was just having this conversation in my group chat. Dead Space is going to come back, and it's going to be a mobile game.
Oh, no! I mean, sure, but that's not going to be a good experience at all.
No. EA came out with a raped, rotting corpse of Westwood Studios and just showed off Command and Conquer's exhumed butthole on stage at E3. I'm sure they're gonna port out Dead Space somehow.
What they did with what they're doing also is they're also remastering Command and Conquer, and that was the thing that belonged on this stage. So
I'm still not fucking buying it because I've still got Red Alert 1, 2, and 3 downloaded.
Yeah, it's there's no reason. I don't know. EA's in a very bad spot right now, just as a company.
They're all trying to shift around and trying to do the like video games as a service thing, and everyone's still trying to figure out how to make that work.
But that's been done.
I think, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like, other than like you being Steam, which everyone's trying, and other than you trying to make your own PUBG/MMO, which everyone has tried, I don't think it's gonna work unless you really know that, oh yeah, this is gonna definitely be the thing. But again, you never know. So it's like, how about you just make a game for once? Like, you don't have to worry about all the extra bullshit.
It says something that BioWare's strength was not used for Anthem, and instead they made a game that plays great and has terrible story.
I was watching I Hate Everything's video on Anthem yesterday.
Oh boy.
A pretty good video, and I would recommend people watch it. Mm-hmm. But he had this really good theory. I don't know if it's his original idea, but basically what he said was that it seems like there was the groundwork for like a really large, robust single-player game, because the development for Anthem went in as soon as Mass Effect 3 ended.
Yeah.
And so they've been working on this game for theoretically 5.5 years. And it seems like a year or two into like its production, EA came down and was like, this needs to be a live service, like MMO style Destiny shooter. Because Destiny was just coming out would have been coming out around the time.
Yeah.
About a year into development. And so Anthem was being developed because it has a lot of the same problems as vanilla Destiny, with like the confusing hub world and like awkward character interactions and stuff like that. But it's not great.
Yeah. It's mediocre in all the same ways.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways like you can see Anthem for it being like a botched single player game. Where like there's this one character in the game, I can't remember his name, but he's your Cypher. So he's your ghost. And there's this one part where he's like pissed off at you, and then the very next like time you see him is just in the street, and he's like really happy, and it just continues like his dialogue tree, because there's like if you just talk to people, the same person between every mission, they kind of have this weird like quirky side plot going on. So it seems like there was something much bigger, but because they came down that it had to be a live service, then it got stripped down to like its bare minimum, and you can kind of see that.
It just, from what I played, it felt like as if they were doing everything in their power in order to make a good, fun game first, and then the story came second. And it makes sense that would be the case if they're doing that, because it honestly does feel like exactly what you're saying.
And I hate that they botched the flying so much.
Oh,
like,
God.
you don't fly in Anthem. And the game was, like, built around, like, do you remember the E3 footage?
Yeah.
Of the dude, like, flying through the cave? That looked awesome. And I remember saying, I was watching it in Discord with my brother, and I was like, there is no fucking way that this is what the game actually is going to reflect. And he's like, it could. And I was like, no. And then it came out, and this is no fucking way. And it's like, they just have flying restricted zones for no reason. And what pisses me off, and one of the like my buddies I follow on Twitch, pointed out that they still use like the E3 footage in the trailer, like the release trailer. And the E3 footage is just way better looking than the actual game. So when it's like real in-engine gameplay, it's showing like the E3 trailer, which is just a million times better looking. And there's levels in the trailer that just don't exist in the actual game.
Yeah, what's Bioware doing?
Sounds like all the people that you care about at BioWare aren't there anymore.
Well, it's weird. It's almost as if they all went to different places. It's almost like they went to started teaching or writing novels or just generally moved on to different studios. Weird.
Yep.
It's almost like as if all of their talent just went poof. And instead of hiring people that were passionate and willing to learn, they hired people who were crazy and not willing to learn. And
also, because I was just thinking about this, the co-creator of Dead Space saying that he's interested in continuing the series, or like, but it would be a different, it'd be like Dead Space, but with a different name, because they can't use the Dead Space IP. So there might be a new Dead Space style game coming out soon, or being announced, or like in pre-production soon.
That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I mean, a lot of people love Dead Space. I think it's shit, but to each his own.
I mean, Dead Space is a cool plot. This alien relic that's from the moons and stuff like that, it just does crazy things and it makes humans into zombies.
It's not scary is the biggest problem. Which is
yeah.
Pretty dog shit bullet right between the eyes for any horror game.
Yeah.
Once you unlock the Ripper, the game officially ends.
Yeah.
It's just a long quick time event between then and the end credits.
It's an action game. More so with a spooky atmosphere. And like it's spooky, but it's like Doom. It's like you can fight back. That's always been the way I kind of looked at it.
It's spooky like Doom 3.
Yeah.
Where it's not spooky. It's just a bunch of jump scares. And it's dark sometimes. And sometimes it's really not. But it's the same jump scare over and over again. There's like a corpse on the ground. So once it scares you the first time, just shoot it with the plasma cutter once. So like, this is my walkthrough for Dead Space. You have the plasma cutter. All you do is you shoot the bodies. If it jumps, shoot it again. And then you have the flamethrower, and that's for the little bugs that like cannibalize you. Mm-hmm. And then you use the Ripper for everything else because it's such a powerful fucking weapon. I can kill like bosses with one shot of the Ripper.
I should play through Dead Space. I should stream myself playing Dead Space actually.
It looks like a fun game, but I'm just one of those people who's just like, man, I just don't play one of the like horror games. I just don't. I think the closest thing I got to a horror game was Half-Life 2.
Yeah, Half-Life 2.
I haven't listened to the podcast. Did you guys talk about Devotion?
No.
At all?
I don't think so.
Have you guys heard of Devotion?
No.
It was a horror game that came from, I want to say, from Taiwan.
Oh, and then it got censored because of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, so, it's a game about this guy, seeking, redemption for, killing his daughter. Something like that. It was this weird plot. It was a first-person horror game, and it was really spooky. But there's, there was this one, the Prime Minister or whatever of China is a thin-skinned bitch. And he looks like Winnie the Pooh. He kind of looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, yeah, he is Winnie the Pooh.
He banned Winnie the Pooh. And he also banned the letter N, I remember, in China.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't remember exactly why he did that, but he totally did. He banned a single letter from the country that houses a fifth of the population of mankind.
So you can't use the word N?
You can't use the letter N. I'm gonna look it up why, because it was so weird. But yeah, Winnie the Pooh is banned in China. And then this company made this thing, and they were like, Xi's a pussy, and there's just a picture of Winnie the Pooh. It was him dressed like Winnie the Pooh or something. And someone found it, and then they got sent to the government, because Taiwan's technically owned by China.
Even though it's not.
It is, legally. And so, yeah, the game got pulled from Steam. It doesn't exist anymore. You can't buy it. So hopefully it gets cracked and people like ship it around.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that he just bans so many things to the point of like you can't do anything.
That would be nice.
Well, yeah.
Like, he's banning such general things to the point of like, what can you even fucking do?
So, this might be a good point to segue into something because I really don't want to talk about Halo. But speaking of China, China has a database where they labeled women as breed ready.
Was that China or Japan?
It's China.
Yeah, that sounds like something China would do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is like, wasn't that a translation error thing from the database? Because when they use English, they kind of half know it.
It's either that or they're... But, like,
Well, at the same time, though, I think... what was I read? I forget where I saw this, but it's like... It's a bit of an error of translation because it actually means if the person had a child, yes or no. For the females anyways. But at the same time, them just recording this type of shit is still kind of fucking creepy.
And I think it's only women, too, that they're doing this.
Because I think, aren't they trying to stop the degradation in their culture or something like that? Because I thought it was like absurdly high that no one's fucking.
No, that's China. Or Japan.
Oh, that's Japan, right?
And the problem with China is that you have... basically where only men are being born because you want a male son, so people will just have a male son. And then if they have a daughter, they like get actually paid for it. It's actually really weird. But like when I read this article, I literally died of laughter and like couldn't believe that what I was reading. And, like, I can find you the article and stuff like that. It's from The Guardian, a very reputable source known as The Guardian. But, like, I was literally reading it, and I was just dying of laughter because I'm like, oh, I know how they did this. I know exactly how they did this. And... it's just mortifying. It's horrific. It doesn't need to exist. It is like this is the stuff that pisses me off is like people who sit there and act like victims and then like you see something like this and you're like, no, this is like objectively worse. Like completely. And I just don't know how to respond to this because it's like the fact that they're doing this is just so fucked up. Yeah.
Also, I found that weird video game I was trying to talk about before.
Okay.
So that weird video game I was talking about before is called Hypnospace Outlaw.
Right.
So I guess from the trailer they showed on Steam is that it's a computer interface that you use before you go to bed. So you put this head strap on, you go to sleep, and you go into the hypnospace, which is this 1999 internet web space you dream into, which is weird. I think it's using your head as a computer, which is kind of fucked up. But anyway, you go into this dream space, and it's like, yeah, you're just sifting through all these websites, and you were downloading different tchotchkes to have on your desktop and have different desktop backgrounds. And you found this weird website how this guy is crazy and he's talking about conspiracy theories. And you're like, whoa, this guy's nuts. But it turns out he's using a whole fuck ton of illegal imagery. So you can ban those imageries from this guy's website and you can get money for it. So you can get more tchotchkes for your fucking desktop.
Great. This is so great.
Like, but the more you look at this, like this weird web surfing video game, the more it's like, wow, it's not necessarily actual 1990s website surfing, but it feels very close to 1999 web surfing because everything's so fucking weird and looks ugly, and just people like, oh, I'm just gonna throw this together. Yeah, this looks great, and like not thinking of design choices or anything. The freaking second image in the Zane's Rocks website is fucking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that you would like because it's just crazy and insane.
It's like it's almost hitting that what's it called? Hyper no. It's really psychedelic 80s imagery.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of it. I'm not sure if Shane knows. Do you know at all?
Psychosis.
Like there's a name. Yeah, that's the one. Vaporwave. Because like it's almost hitting vaporwave strides with all this weird shit going on.
It looks like some of the shit I made in web design class.
Pretty much.
It looks exactly like that.
Yeah. It's like some people just like made their own websites and just super shitty and like just it's a great little like I think a kind of like storytelling game.
I'm so happy I don't have to.
Feel.
I'm so happy I don't have to take that class. I just have to code their fucking buttons and stuff.
Web design is easy.
What?
Web design is so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but I don't like doing padding, and that was always my nemesis.
You can CSS?
Yeah.
All you do is you just you just ballpark it.
Yeah.
And then once you're close, you just change it 1 pixel at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That usually could be annoying, but it's like, hey, you can figure it out.
It's not like Bash or like C# or any other computer language where it's like, oh yes, I know exactly how to do this, and this is very easy to do, and and then something like works fine, and you're like, ha ha. Whereas like in like HTML and like CSS and stuff like that, you're entirely right. But like my stupid brain would be like, oh, like do this, and then the entire website would 404. Plus, it didn't help I wasn't paying attention very often. So, there's that. Yeah.
Man, I'm getting text messages from my brothers that he went to the pro wrestling event in Edmonton, apparently.
Why?
There's a pro wrestling event in Edmonton?
Why would somebody go to that?
I guess so. I guess
thing?
WWE came into town, I guess. My brother, he said, oh man, chanting at the ref that he sucks at this WWE event. The match was going on for far too long. Every time there was a pinfall and it was a 2 count, we all chanted, "Ref, you suck." Team Glorious versus Team Revival.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good match. Went on for too long. Lucha House Party are great. And that's all the texts I'm getting.
I mean, it's all scripted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's scripted to a point. Like, there's some things that are going to happen that it's not scripted. Like, if anything, it's scripted of, like, this happens here, this happens there, everything in between, whatever. If anything, it's kind of roughhousing in the house type of scripting.
But they still have to get to the end. So if it's like, if he's like playing as a fair ref, and he like rings out the guy who's actually supposed to win 3 minutes later, like, well, we're done, go
home. Yeah, pretty much. And they have to write up a new storyline on the spot, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want to say that also happens in like smaller wrestling organizations of like, okay, we're going to have a ladder match. This guy's supposed to win, yada, yada. And it turns out like, oh no, the guy who was supposed to win, he slipped off the fucking ladder like a freaking loser. The opponent, he was literally right there at the belts. So he's like, of course I'm going to get the belts. Why wouldn't I get the belts?
Seems like a smart idea.
Yeah, like if he was maybe more clever, he probably took that as a heel, like a really good heel move, and just doing a giant body drop from the ladder. Like that would be good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it'll probably make that match go on forever.
Yeah, it probably was super hilarious.
But at least my brother's having a good time seeing some pro wrestling.
Easy.
I think the last time I went to see a live pro wrestling event was, oh, Jesus. I had to have been 2004, 2005. Like, really long time ago. That's probably like the stride of when pro wrestling was really good. Because they're not afraid to swear, and also there was blood. Because they're like, fuck you, kids. Even though our action figures are still on the shelves, fuck you.
Yeah. Anyways, should we resync?
Probably should.
Okay. So we're going to have our break, and then we're going to resync, and then we're going to talk about some other things.
Sure.
Yeah, you have.
A new challenger has entered the arena.
A new challenger has entered the arena.
Shane, come over here.
Capcom vs. SNK2 music starts playing.
God,
I fucking love that game.
Good game.
That's another game I gotta pick up.
I still have my original copy I got from Blockbuster, which I'm very happy about. Frick. Like, I remember playing that thing like so many times over and over and over again, to the point that I was like, I wonder if I can get to the God boss on the end just using this shitty character.
Yeah, if you get to God Rugal on like Sakura, okay. Stop.
Yeah.
Madman. I'm like I said I hooked up my PS2 again recently. I opened up my copy of Samurai Warriors.
Oh,
fucking awesome game. I picked it up from the video store back home, 5-star movies, and I open it up and there's a sticker in it that says, "Be kind, please rewind."
You're looking at your disc going like, there's a rewind? What? Huh?
Yep.
Freaking, did you, actually, there was I read some sort of article a long time ago that someone did try to sell a rewindable CD player cassette thing.
Oh yeah, like, the CD rewinder.
Yep. It was a real thing because people thought you have to rewind your discs.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's just so fucking funny because it's like it was quickly shipped and sold on shelves and then not anymore. Like all in the span of a month. Like, it's so funny. Oh frick.
Okay, I got a story for you. I'm just reading this right now. Valve doesn't sound too happy about Epic Store copying Steam data. The file is not intended to be used by other programs or uploaded to any third-party service. Yesterday, we learned that the Epic Game Store was copying Steam user data file called localconfig.pdf. According to Epic, the client stores a local encrypted version of the file and does nothing with it unless you opt to import your Steam friends, at which point it only sends a hashed friend ID to the Epic servers. Okay. Why would you look at my Steam data folder? You fucks. Come on. You just want to reverse engineer it, you fucking idiots.
Okay, but I have a bone to pick with Steam.
Okay.
We should talk about this.
Yeah.
Because Steam has this, like, new... I don't know if it's a new policy, or if it's a policy they just never enforced, and they're starting to now. But they're not happy with you buying games on Steam, and then not running them through Steam. Because, like, say I have a game, like, for example, Condemned Criminal Origins, 2006 PC game.
Yeah.
It runs like shit, barely fucking runs. And it doesn't work through Steam. And so I have to, like, jerry-rig a machine that, like, bypasses the Steam DRM. That's fine, and it works that way, but apparently they're cracking down on it now. And so, if you buy, because I play Final Fantasy XIV, if you bought Final Fantasy XIV through Steam, you have to play it through Steam. And so, Steam crashes my game a lot because it's like an in-game overlay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I uninstalled the Steam version of the game, and I just downloaded it directly from the Square Enix site. Now I have to undo all that, come this, like, the 23rd, I think it is.
Yep.
And it will check, because in the MOG station it says, like, standard license, and then in brackets it says Steam. And so it'll check to say if you're running it through Steam. And if you're not, which I'm not, then the game just tells you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And so I sent an email to Essie, and I was like, is there any way I can just, like, remove the Steam from my license? Like, can you just, like, revoke my license and give me a standard license? And they're like, no.
What?
That sounds like bullshit.
Yeah. I'll pull up the email. Because I sent them an email.
So,
I was like, yeah.
So to go back to this thing, Epic Games is basically skimming data from Steam, and they're doing a bunch of very stupid things. You know what? I gotta say this about Epic Games Store. I have never met a more entitled group of individuals who act like a bunch of fucking assholes all the time.
I only use it to download, like, the free games, because they have, like, one free game, like, a month or whatever.
Right.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Axiom Verge and Jackbox and another game, just because I fucking could.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get that other game.
I'm gonna look right now and see what it is.
I don't like Epic Games Store at all.
It's oddly confusing.
It is.
Yeah.
Like
you think they would figure that out right away, but no, it's confusing.
Slime Rancher is free right now.
I don't like...
and then it's gonna be Oxen free, which is a really good game.
Yeah.
Ooh.
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 Okay,
Yeah, it's actually
what?
like good games.
Yeah.
That are free. It's not like Steam, where Steam has 122 quadrillion games put onto it. And so you can be like, you get Slaughtering Grounds now. You're like, great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I can't wait to play that.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Can't wait to play another Battle Royale game that sucks. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I like competition. I think competition is good, but like the way that Epic Games is doing it is just not like. It just feels underhanded in so many ways.
It's because I don't even know, like, are there going to be exclusive games on Epic? Because it's still a third party. It's not like, I mean, you can buy Watch Dogs 2 is $9. Full price is $60. Something's fucky about that. That's like 85% off. But like, because Uplay has Ubisoft specific games. Origin has EA exclusive. Are they just gonna have games that are like every single game that uses the Unreal Engine or something?
I mean, the reason why they can get away with it is because basically, from what I gather, and this is something that I gather, is EA, or what they do is they basically are like, oh, if you use our game to make a game, like Epic Game Engine or something like that, then you get all of that stuff for free.
Right.
And then you get everything for that benefit. My personal, honest opinion and stuff like that is, quite frankly, I could give two shits. Because
hang on. Say that again. So if you use Unreal,
yeah,
you get perks for selling
it on
the Epic Game Store?
Yeah, for free.
What do you mean for free?
Like, you don't have to pay royalties.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
It is.
Because you're paying them anyway by using their license, or by using their engine, so you don't have to pay for using the store. I guess that's like a win-win.
Yeah. But
like they're doing a lot of clever things of like, oh, you want to develop for us because you get like so much more money and you can use all this shit for free, and our engine's robust, and it's like, you know what? Why wouldn't you? Because it seems super smart.
It's just capitalism at work.
Yeah, exactly.
It is entirely capitalism at work, and that's like...
Oh, yeah.
And that's... When they announced it, if they didn't do the Metro Exodus things, I wouldn't have cared. And, like...
after, I think a lot of people have after Metro Exodus.
After that, it's like, wow, okay, no, fuck you guys. I don't want to even have you on my machine. But I kind of feel the need to because I kind of want that. I want Unreal on there. My big thing with them is that, like, they're fine. They do a lot of the things that I like, but it's like the client's also not there. And like I have 90% of my library on Steam. So it's like, okay, there's no point. The other thing I will sit there and say though is like my personal opinion, and this is a promise to me and stuff like that, is I would rather put all my games on every platform imaginable. Even like
but is it? Are you saying like if it's exclusive to the Epic Game Store, then you don't pay royalties like Metro?
No.
Because the Division 2 clearly uses the Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I learned something today.
I'm like 90% sure it does.
You can we can double check later for you.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but but like clearly that's going to be sold on Steam and on Uplay as well. So like, are they going to get nothing then for selling on the Epic Game Store?
I mean, yeah, like I don't know how they're doing it because I'm assuming it's only for indies. I'm assuming if you're a larger publisher, they just go like, oh yeah, we'll charge you X percentage and it's a little bit better deal for you.
Oh no, the Division 2 does not use Unreal, uses Snowdrop.
So okay, so they're just using. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's shitty. That's just shitty.
Are you guys gonna play the Division 2?
You know what? I kind of want to pick it up, but I would rather wait a year. Because
I would wait till like if there's like a DLC coming out.
Yeah.
Then
I
you could sell
ask,
the game. Like,
have
on
we talked
discounted.
about the other big thing that's come up this week? The other big news?
No, we have not talked about the Master Chief Collection. I purposely was ignoring it.
Alberta alert.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Issued by Edmonton. Oh, an Amber Alert.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
that was a bit of a panic attack.
a little bit.
They're sending in bombs. Sorry, not bombs. Kids. They're sending in kids.
Don't worry, guys. We just have an Amber Alert. We assumed that something bad happened and somebody stole somebody.
It was just an Amber Alert.
Oh, shit! Holy shit!
When the week of politics has been that bad.
Oh, God.
We're sitting there. We're just like
talking. We're also not going to talk about what happened. We're just that's how. But you know how bad it is. We're like, oh, thank God, it's just an Amber Alert.
Oh my God, some kid's missing. Dear God, thank God.
Like legit, I had a massive panic attack right
All
there.
of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. I'm like, oh no. Flip it over. Edmonton Police, Amber Alert. And I just saw red Edmonton Police. And I was just like, oh my God, we're getting something's happening. Oh dear God. Oh my God. Holy shit.
If there was anything seriously happening, I would just go out and embrace death. Just with open fucking arms.
I want to die.
Butt fucking tomahawk missile.
What the fuck, dude?
Put it in my ass.
Freaking! How about we just look at this video and feel happy? Like a little kid looking at a giant platter of pizza and going, "Wow!"
Oh my God! I'm texting a buddy, and I'll freely admit this. I'm texting my buddy while we're talk about this Amber Alert. And I sent a text, "Hey, did you get that Amber Alert?" And his response is like, "You fucking nailed it."
Everyone's heart just
as he was about to respond, he got that, and I was just like, "That's amazing."
Oh my God!
And fuck, man, like, oh.
I think it says
a lot about us this week when that was the thing that we were like, oh shit, what's going on?
Like it says a lot about like how bad this week was. Like when like you're like, you stop and you're just like, oh my god, okay, it's just a missing kid. Okay, thank God. Like, fuck.
It's like a bad skit. It's like a really bad skit.
It is. And the sad part is...
It's like a Whitest Kids You Know skit.
The sad part is like... I can't talk about this. Yeah, pretty much. Moving on to the other big news this week, because this week was a weird week for me. For many a reason. Allan knows one of the reasons. Josh knows the other.
Okay. Okay, so can I talk about the one thing that's going up on Steam?
Yes.
And I'm excited. Oh boy!
Let's talk about the topic of the show.
The topic of the show.
The heavens have finally blessed my soul with the coming glory that is Halo upon the PC. Amine da Potoyas. Amine Adonais. Oh, may Gabe Newman have his sanctified holy day upon its release. And may it grant... Okay, I'm sorry.
I think Allan just put a Hebrew curse on us all, but yeah, Master Chief Collection is coming to PC.
Yeah, and it's coming with Reach and ODST.
Which I've never played either of those.
Okay, so I know what I'm doing the night it comes out with you.
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get like all my other buddies are like, yeah, we're gonna play Master Chief Collection. I'm gonna take all you fucking little bitch boys to Zanzibar, show you how we do things downtown.
Oh yeah, I'm just excited. I'm so excited because it's like this is the game that like I've always wanted to play, the game that I've always felt very good about, and yeah, I'm just excited because it's like. I've been wanting this for years.
I think everybody's been wanting this for years. Every Xbox player has been...
Yeah.
Well, no. Every Xbox player is now crying in a corner as they suddenly realize that means Halo 6 when it comes out. It's coming out on the PC too.
Well, no, they've already said it's coming out on PC.
Well, it was under suspect, but the reason why we were confirmed because we were thinking it was going to be coming out a year later, like what they normally do. But with this coming out now, that basically confirms it's the same day release.
I mean, it benefits Microsoft either way. Wait, if they do it. So, but like, honestly, I might have to buy 2 additional copies of Halo Master Chief Collection because I'm going to buy it on Steam.
Oh yeah, no, I'm buying it on Steam too. I already have it. I have all the Halo games on my Xbox, but that's immediately going to be going onto my
I do too. Actually, no, I don't have Halo Wars.
Yeah, you do. You played no, you don't. You don't have the original Halo Wars.
I have the original Halo Wars. I don't have Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, you do. You played it.
Yeah, I have Game Pass.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm technically going to own 3 copies of Master Chief Collection.
Hang on, I need to actually make sure that I actually already put this into my... I did not. Okay, it's going on my wish list just to make sure I have it there so I remember.
But, like, I am so excited about this. Like, I was talking about with, like, Game Camp people. Yes, I go to Game Camp. I was on one of their shows. It was very good and fun and stuff like that. More people should show up. And then they can come and punch me in the face if I offend you so much on the show. You can go to Game Camp every time you want, and you can call me a sexist
What
bigot.
the fuck were you saying about Halo at Game Camp?
Okay.
Cool your autist jets for 5 seconds.
No, go full power.
I was talking about...
Intensify forward autism.
I was doing this on purpose. It was so worth it. I thought the server got
I'm waiting for just like the FBI to just fucking just nuke us.
Right.
Just be like, guys, you need to be just shut down.
So what I was doing was we were talking about Halo, and it was like, yeah, like that game like brought so many people together and stuff like that, and I can't wait to play it. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be the game that everyone plays over the summer, and everyone's life is just going to end, and you're just going to play Halo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's literally going to be like nobody's going to get any work done. Everyone's just going to play Halo. It's great. I can't wait. I'm so excited for it.
Put that to the top. Put that to the top. Put that to the top. Problem solved.
Does anyone else have something to add for it?
Actually, the thing I have to add for it is actually the fact that I'm not just super super happy about the fact that it's going to be getting released on the PC, and that it's coming with, of course, Reach, ODST, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I wonder if they're going to do 5, because as far as I know, I don't think it's coming with 5, which I'm not too mad about. I really personally don't care. I would love to see them bundle in Halo Wars 2 and Halo Wars 1 in with this, just to have it like bundled in. Mm-hmm. But I'm also happy because they actually did clarify. They clarified it actually, like, and this is something one of our other chats we were discussing it back and forth. This was the big thing we were worried about, was the fact that the way they worded it initially was it was initially going to release with Reach first, and then it was going to be a $60 launch. And we're like, okay, that doesn't sound so bad. That's if it's for all those games, $60 is a fair price. But the way they worded it, and it was the way they worded it that made us all very suspect, was, and then every game will be released in installment afterwards. And we're like, okay, and in what sense? And the way it was worded was that it sounded like DLC, like purchase DLC content. And we were like, okay. And my response to that was, okay, that's one of two ways they can go with this. It can be the way that we all think it's going to go with, or it can go the way that they're releasing the game separate. And then we actually got to confirm that they are doing all the games separate as well on Steam. Mm-hmm. It's just that they will be for purchase through the Master Chief Collection.
That's kind of neat. So you can not buy the shitty ones.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Probably ODST. Never played it.
Oh. You should. It's actually really.
I have this weird relationship with Halo. Because a lot of people, because it was one of the first, like, I wouldn't say it's one of the first-person shooters I ever played, but like it was the one that I played like a lot back. Like Halo 3 is one I played a lot back in the day. But it was weird, and I was really like iffy on it for a long time, because it was like it was very slowed down compared to what I was used to, and it stripped a lot of things from first-person shooters. Like there's no health packs. There's like it was like regenerating shields, and you can only carry 2 weapons.
That was from Halo 2 onwards.
Yeah, and so it took a lot of things like I was familiar with first-person shooters and like took them away. And so I was like, okay, Halo's kind of neat. And then there was just a bunch of other games that came out, and I was like, all right, Halo's, and I don't know, Halo's weird because like the guns sound like toys, pew pew pewing. And
oh yeah, no, I will agree with that. That is my problem with the older games. They sound like pew 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 toys, unlike Halo 4 and 5, where they actually sound like they have some weight behind them.
Yeah. But and then like years have gone by, and there's so many more first-person shooters have like changed so much, and especially with like the majority of games where it really got into like cover-based shooting for a number of years, and now with the return of like arcade-style shooters. I should mention that Gearbox teased a possible Borderlands 3 announcement recently.
Are you really excited about Randy Pitchford? Like Magic Tricks again? I'm cautiously
optimistic. I would like to see. I just like to see another Borderlands. I don't care who made it. I think it would be hilarious if there was like a side quest where you have to like recover someone's USB stick before it like falls into the hands of the media.
You do realize that like because this is Gearbox, that actually might be a thing.
Yeah, I know. That's what's funny. And it was like, oh man, what if one of the missions is like you have to uncover like a pedophile ring? But
and then it turns out the pedophile ring is like some like dog fight. It's just like you're like, okay, where's this pedophile ring? And you show up and it's like, oh yeah, pedophile means something different on this world. And you're like, what?
Yeah, but so they're like with the return of like arcade based. I don't know, use that in like air quotes, like arcadey shooters like Doom and Borderlands and like Bulletstorm and those kind of games where they're like just stupid, goofy fun. Halo coming back at this point in time is like a breath of fresh air after going through so much, like Medal of Honors and Call of Duties and things like that. And so when you play a game and you know it's I guess this is what I'm trying to say, because there was like a transition period where games wanted to be more than games, and then you had things like BioShock and The Last of Us and these like experiences, and then we've gone far enough that our games can be games. This is kind of what I was thinking about today, where it's like you can play a game like Doom, and it's got game things where, okay, I chainsaw this guy not because I relish for the glory of death, but because chainsawing enemies gives me ammo. I need ammo to kill the 4 enemies behind me, things like that. And so when Halo now coming out, and it was at the end of like the period when there was this lull in games, and they pulled the reins on games for years.
Yeah.
And they had to be slower and the more mainstream games. I'm thinking of like Gears of War and things like that. So to see an older game coming back and be like, this is what games used to be like. They were fun. And it's just like a celebration of a game being a game.
Oh, yeah.
And being nothing more, nothing less.
It says something nowadays that, like, I shouldn't be this excited about close to a 20-year-old franchise re-releasing.
It is a 20-year-old franchise.
Re-releasing all of its games on PC. I shouldn't be this excited, but, like, you're entirely correct.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. It was released in 2001. Never mind.
Yeah. Like,
it's only 18 years old.
Yeah, like, when it got announced, I literally made a reference to, what did I say? I made a reference of the great journey is upon us, Noah, and you will be left behind. And I was just like, that's how excited I was. Like, this is a franchise like I grew up with and I love with everything in my fiber of my being. Like, I wouldn't play other games. I would play Halo 3. I think I have over 100 hours in Halo 3. So to have it come back and stuff like that makes me feel really good and stuff like that. Now,
over 100 hours. I think you mean over a 200 at least.
Over 1,000 hours.
Fuck, man, Halo 3 was my life for a summer.
Yeah.
Halo
so was Reach and ODST.
Yeah. For 6 months probably. It was when it wasn't great when we got our Xbox, but it was like shortly after we got our Xbox, my brother bought Halo 3 because he just had an irresponsible amount of money. And for like 6 months, all we did was play Halo 3. And I think this year is going to be like that kind of year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because you have Doom Eternal coming out. And then you had Devil May Cry 5, which was a very important game for a lot of people. That's as old as Halo 1.
Yeah.
And then now Master Chief Collection, which I don't know if that's coming out this year.
It's supposedly coming out this year.
Yeah.
And then what else was coming out this year? They said, supposedly this year, Jedi Fallen Order will be coming out.
At long last. Yeah. We also got some. What was Dwarf Fortress is coming out on Steam.
What?
Yeah, it's
what?
coming out. Yeah. Hang on. Okay. How did you not know this? Oh fuck it.
Because I'm not a fucking weeb.
I'm not 65 years old.
Allan,
but yeah, like Dwarf Fortress is coming on Steam because.
By the way, do you want to know its time release date is?
What's tomorrow?
Available. Time is subjective.
Of course.
Yeah. Fucking can't send the pit. I can't actually link it because it's on my fucking wish list. So
I just love how, like, the game that one of my friends recommended, that was so impenetrable that I literally just said, I will never touch this game again, is coming out on Steam, and it's taunting me.
Yeah.
Actually,
when I first saw this game, I was in college. I was at Nate, and I took this course that Jeff was actually in. It was like story that story one.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That was the one I dropped out of after 2 weeks. But my buddy Adam was sitting next to me in class, and he was playing Dwarf Fortress. And I looked at him, I was like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, it's this awesome game. And I looked at it, this is like my second day meeting this guy. I zoomed in, I just moved my head really fucking close to the screen, and I looked at him and I'm like, you are a fucking nerd. This isn't a game so much, this is a game if Excel is a game. Microsoft Excel spreadsheets are a game as much as Dwarf Fortress is.
That's the thing, though, is I've actually played Dwarf Fortress once or twice, and I actually enjoy it because the idea, the concept behind Dwarf Fortress is the fact of of course, you build your own dwarven fortress and stuff like that. It's the same kind of concept you see with games like RimWorld, Factorium. What's that other game that they put out that's a top-down?
SimCity.
Prison Architect and stuff like that. Technically, those games kind of draw their roots from this, but the difference is that they are a bit more nowhere near as punishing as Dwarf Fortress. And from the stories I've heard about Dwarf Fortress, holy shit! Oh boys, there are some terrifying stories about Dwarf Fortress. And I'm actually excited about this game. It's already on my wish list. It's actually a game that I really actually want to play.
Dwarf Fortress reminds me of Space Station 13 a lot.
Yeah.
Space Station 13?
Yeah.
Do you
ever play that?
No. I wouldn't be saying Space Station 13. I would have been, oh yeah, I remember that game. That would have been my response if...
Yeah, Space Station 13, it's a mix of... The best way I can describe it, it's like a mix of Dwarf Fortress and Town of Salem. And it's set in space. It's this really strange game where basically you play as different members of a space station, and so everyone gets a role. You enter a server, and everyone gets a separate role. It's impenetrable, but if you manage to find the pickaxe of Thanos and chip away at this game, it's really absorbing, and you can you'll never want to leave. And some of the stories I've heard
are amazing,
are incredible. And I wonder if I could find the one. My favorite absolute all-time one. This dude was a botanist, and so he had to make all the fresh produce and greenery for the space station.
Yep.
And he comes to his assistant, and he's like, I've got this new recipe for apples. And he has an apple and a million different drugs just crammed into these apples. And if you take 2 drugs that give the same stat boost, so if you give 2 drugs that both give you +2 to stamina, you'll take stun damage. So what does he do to resist the stun damage? Meth. And he just jams meth into the apple, and Meth has a addiction rating of 15, and he's using potency 87 meth, but it's 15% is meth, and 15% of 87 is 13, which is less than 15, so you're not going to get addicted to meth eating this apple. And he starts sending them around the office, and he's like, check out our new super apples, and the security team loves them, and everyone's eating them, and then his partner looks at him, he's like, Doctor, I think I'm addicted to meth. And the guy's like, what do you mean? And so he checks the wiki, and meth has an addiction rating of 10, not 15. And he's like, uh-oh. And then someone comes on the PA, and they're like, Medical, why is all of security addicted to meth? And he's like, oh no, what a horrible disaster that I had no part in. And so he runs to the medical center, and he's like, it's something wrong, something I can do. And they're like, yeah, grab some of your apples. And he's like, okay. He runs back. His apples are gone. Somebody had taken them, and they're feeding them to all the sick people. One of the chemists took the apple and grinded it up into its base components, and he discovers the botanist's terrible secret. And so he escapes through the last escape pod, and the assistant's left behind, and they beat him to death. And he's like, since then, my buddy has not played botanist ever again. It's shit like that. It's kind of like it's almost like a D&D where you can just like do anything you want, and there's really no goal besides coexistence.
Yeah, that is basically what Dwarf Fortress is, and it's fucking great.
Oh
man,
why is everyone addicted to meth?
Why is everyone addicted to meth?
That's like a, jeez, that's a pretty good scenario right there. Just like out of nowhere, like, hey, why is everyone just addicted to a horrible, horrible drug?
Why would you put meth in apples?
Stun resistance.
Uh,
That must be why everyone in my high school took meth.
All right. So, what's
Exactly.
the other news that Jeff had this week that relates to Josh? Because I'm actually curious now.
Oh, China's.
Is it about? Is this about the Doom thing?
What? Oh yeah, Doom Annihilation got announced, and that's terrible. Nobody should watch it.
Actually, it looks like a really it looks like a B-slop movie.
It is.
Yeah. I saw the trailer and I saw it on the Thinkery, and Sargon was like, "Oh, this looks like shit." And I watched the trailer. I'm like, I don't know. I might check it out.
Well, the thing is, even he's like, it looks like shit. But then he also had to make a comment about political commentary because people were like ragging on that it might be feminist stuff, and it's like it doesn't. So far, it doesn't have that information. If they turn around and say no, that's the Doom guy, that's when you become a little bit worried because Doom guy is supposed to be like this monstrous badass motherfucker. But the way it's looking right now is it looks like it's the Marines that go down.
Yeah.
And
it looks like Sharknado Starship Troopers.
It is. That's exactly.
No, don't lump Starship Troopers in with that. Starship Troopers is a way better B movie than that.
Okay, I'll take it back. It looks like Sharknado mixed with Starship Troopers 3.
Yeah.
Say 2 and you're good.
3 was pretty.
3 was pretty weird, but it was still fucking fun.
I mean, Doom Annihilation looks fun too.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. That's the redeeming quality about it. It looks like it's gonna be fun. I saw some of the scenes for it where the barrel blows up. I'm like, are they actually trying to apply video game logic into this?
Yeah.
And if they are, I'm not even mad.
Yeah, because like, does anyone remember Doom, the 2005 movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yeah.
There's like entire scenes in that movie that's like taken from first person, and it looks like it's trying to be Doom 3, and it's actually like
the
worst
weakest
thing.
Doom Goomy.
Yeah, and it's like the worst looking thing ever put to film.
Yep.
And it was amazing.
Here's the thing, though, is like even I will straight up say this about Doom 3 is even when I saw it initially when it came out, it is actually Doom 3 is still a fun movie.
The Doom movie is
Prince of Persia. Yeah, no, that's the thing is they're not meant to, like if you look at them like if you're trying to put them into the concept that they are video game movies, then they're always going to fail.
Yeah.
It's the same way with how Prince of Persia was actually a really good, like in my opinion, a really good game movie. It kept the concepts of like the game mechanics and the idea, how the prince worked and how the mechanics and all that stuff worked with the movie, and they worked it well.
Was the WoW movie good?
But I would say it was. However, I will also say it was a very solid B movie. It's not like a AAA movie or A movie.
Yeah.
It's
the World Warcraft.
The World of Warcraft movie. And the only reason why I liked it is because I had fun with it, and that's the point. If you go to and this is my rule with video game movies, if you go to the video game movie expecting to have fun, but not a good movie, you'll be okay. And there have been only 2 times that I've gone to a video game movie that I've been like, okay, this should be good, so I don't need to worry about having fun. And I didn't have fun, and it wasn't good. And that was, oh fuck, what was that movie that came up before Prince of Persia? Because there's a video, because again, the Doom movie was fun. It's dumb and it's a bad movie, but it's fun, and that's the reason why you enjoy it. It's the same thing with like Doom Annihilation. It's gonna be fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Fuck, what was that movie? It's a video game movie. Fuck.
Mario Brothers?
I think it came out like. No.
Ratchet and Clank.
We don't talk about that abomination.
I'm looking through, and it was just like I just typed in video game movies into Google Images, see what came up. Because I'm trying to think of like there has to be at least one good one. Oh, what is it? Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Is that the one you were thinking of?
No.
Need for Speed. I think it's Need for Speed. That one's really good.
It wasn't Final Fantasy: The Spirit Within because I actually enjoyed that movie because I was a kid when I saw that.
Are you telling me there was a third Silent Hill movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Second
I
one.
have to watch it.
Second one looks.
The second one was so bad. The
Apparently
first one was just painfully average.
Apparently, the third one's worse.
I'll watch it.
I didn't even know there was an Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah,
the Ratchet and Clank movie wasn't bad. It was just like
I don't know if animated films count.
No, because this one is because the same time when Ratchet and Clank came up, they came up with the new Ratchet and Clank game as well.
Yeah, and the new Ratchet and Clank game was awesome. I played it.
I don't like what they did with the character, but the mechanics feel.
It feels like it feels like
the old
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. However, I do agree that the problem with the game is the fact that they they decided to change his character from being this pretentious cocknub of a twat to some goody two shoe, which is my problem with it because even in the original game with Ratchet and Clank, it was very much like, oh well, I want to get back at Cork because he's an asshole because like he fucked me over and stuff like that, and I like that because it gave him some moral ambiguity. But in this one, it was like, I want to be part of the Space Rangers because they're good guys, and I want to be a good guy. Yeah. I'm like, you became a boring character.
Isn't that game being told by Captain Quark anyways?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it make sense that like he is like telling it?
Oh no. I that's the thing is like I love the idea of Captain Quark telling this story. But my complaint is, even in the original game, Captain Quark straight up knew that Ratchet fucking hated him. Like, he was prepared to kill Quark on several different occasions. However, I will say I understand why they did that. They dumbed down the game so it's a little bit more kid-friendly compared to what it used to be because...
Yeah, because the original game was T for teen.
T for teen, and this one was E for everyone. I think it was E for everyone, or was it E12? Or E10, sorry.
It was E10.
It was... Where's the box?
2018 Tomb Raider film. I will say, I was thinking, like, what are like only good video game movies? And I mean, it's like picking the best turd.
Yeah.
But aside from like movies that are like, there's no movies that are like actually good. Most movies are just like dumb and fun. There was Rampage.
There's 40. Oh yeah, Rampage is actually a really fun movie. I will give that movie full props. That's actually like the best one.
Rampage is really good.
From worst to best. Oh my god, there was a Tekken movie. What?
Oh, you didn't know that? Yo.
No.
Allow me to enlighten you.
Yeah, I heard about this Tekken movie.
The best movie that's on this list is apparently Tomb Raider from 2018.
There's also
I never saw it. I didn't really care. Rampage also came out. Spirits Within in 2001. The Angry Bird movie, which isn't bad, but it could be better. What was it?
I still believe that Resident Evil Apocalypse is a genuinely good movie.
Resident Evil Apocalypse, where it's technically the second last movie because Retribution is the last one, right?
No, Apocalypse is the second movie.
Oh yeah, because it's Extinction that's the second last one, and then it's a Redemption, and it's Apocalypse that's right before.
Oh fuck! I need to look up the chronology of the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, this is a bad thing. Resident Evil Extinction, then Resident Evil Afterlife, and then Resident Evil Retribution, because those are because one came out 2007, 2010, and then 2012. And yeah, Resident Evil Apocalypse came up before that.
You know what we're saying? Just number your fucking movies, Hollywood. So we have Resident Evil 2002, Apocalypse 2004, Extinction 2007, Afterlife 2010.
Except that would be too easy.
It would be. 2012 is Retribution, then the final chapter in 2016, and then there's another one that says Reboot.
Why are the Pokemon movies on this list? They don't count.
They do though. They do.
They're not video game movies. They're anime movies. They don't count.
They are video game movies. They're based on video games.
I mean, it's based on a video game, but it's after that, it's nothing.
Oh yes, now I remember the one movie that I fucking hated.
Was it In the Name of the King? Please tell me it was In the Name of the King.
No, actually, you know what? I got a better video game movie. DOA.
Dead or Alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
at the same time, I love this movie, but at the same time, I hate this movie, and that's Street Fighter.
Oh God.
Of course.
I watched Hitman.
I watched Hitman, and I actually genuinely enjoyed it. I watched both Hitmans, and I genuinely enjoyed them. I also watched Wing Commander, and I loved Wing Commander. I don't know why it's at the bottom of this list.
Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
However,
fuck. Such a bad movie.
I did see. I didn't really. The Assassin's Creed movie came out in a fucking 2016. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was the one year that there wasn't an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah. Okay, I know which one it is now. I saw Dead and Alive from 2007. That movie is right boring and shite. And I also saw. No, it wasn't Final Chapter. All right, I just found it, and it's apparently number 7 on this fucking list of like the top movies.
Please enlighten us.
Mortal fucking Kombat.
Oh, that movie's.
Oh, the first one?
Those movies are.
From 1995.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Those movies are great.
Oh, it's so bad.
So
I
bad,
fucking
it's
hated it 'cause
good.
I was so bored watching those. Like legit, straight up, I fell asleep during that. I don't fall asleep during movies ever. It's so rare for me to do that. There's only been like 3 other movies that I've done, and one of them is because I've watched it so many times that it bores me, and that was like Revenge of the Sith, because I love the opening scene, I love the final fight, and that was everything else. I would just pass out and fall asleep through. But that's just because the movie has poor pacing, and I knew everything that was happening. Besides the Order 66, which I always woke up to watch because fuck, that's catharsis. But however, like I will straight up admit, like Dead and Alive I passed out through, and Mortal Kombat I fell asleep for. The other 2 movies that I would say are actually really good but aren't on this list for some strange reason. Oh no, I know why they're not on this. They're not technically movies. They're technically episodic shows. And that's Forward Unto Dawn and Spartan, the second Halo trilogy of 5-part episodes of things. I actually enjoyed them.
They're good.
I don't like the second one. Isn't as good. The first one is fucking amazing. It's like, oh man, he just had a $20,000. He just had like a $500,000 fight scene off on the side there fighting that hunter. Man, it would have been totally cool to see. And then you realize Hunter's moving packs. Then where's the second one? Oh man, that was a movie that I actually strongly recommend for people to watch if they like.
I think I'm gonna probably watch it, but I need time in order to watch it. So,
which is fair.
So, before we end this podcast,
yeah, because we need to get going. I think
I have found this wonderful article titled "41 Video Game Movies Currently in Development."
Oh, great!
And some of the entries may surprise you. So some of them we already know: Angry Birds 2, Detective Pikachu, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wait, hold up. What was that fucking first one?
Angry Birds 2.
Angry Birds 2.
What?
Yeah, there was the first one, and it was.
No.
It was...
I've seen Angry Birds 1. It's actually not that bad of a movie.
No, it's not.
It's actually pretty fun to watch.
It is.
However,
they greenlit a sequel.
What?
It made back. So it had a total net gain in the box office of $73 million, which is enough to garner a sequel. Okay, so Angry Birds, Detective Pikachu, Sonic the Hedgehog, we know that's in development.
Oh, I'm actually... Okay, I won't lie. I'm so ready to have my pants blown off by how bad Detective Pikachu is either going to be or how good it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be like either The Room or The Room unironically. So
that is an apt way to describe it. However, the way I would have put it is it's Street Fighter or Street Fighter unironically.
Okay, that's good too.
That's a better one, I think.
Okay, so in development currently, I'm gonna just rattle these off. and you're gonna be like, hang on, stop, but I'm not gonna stop. We've got Altered Beast, Borderlands, Call of Duty, Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Centipede.
It's an opinion about that one.
Centipede.
I've heard about that. That's not a thing that's happening.
Contra.
Okay.
Dante's Inferno.
That one that one might be really cool.
That one would be cool.
The Division.
Yeah.
My favorite so far, Duke Nukem.
Oh God.
Firewatch.
Okay, no.
We know that this one's gonna come, and we've been dreading it for years. Five Nights at Freddy's.
I don't know.
Motherfucking Fruit Ninja.
Wait, what?
How?
Gears of War.
Okay, that one deserves to exist.
That one deserves to exist, and it's either gonna be. That one's also gonna be another game that's either gonna be. It's gonna be the room. It's gonna be the Street Fighter or Street Fighter unironically. Yeah. That's another that like that's the thing is like a lot of these games that you've just like games and movies that you were listed is either gonna be Street Fighter or Street Fighter unironically.
Like, they're not gonna make Borderlands good.
This one that says, while promoting 10 Cloverfield Lane back in 2016, J.J. Abrams gave an update about Bad Robot's upcoming Half-Life movie.
Oh. Huh.
You mean a movie that's never going to release because Valve will never...
Just Cause, which could be fun. The Last of Us. Mega Man. Metal Gear Solid, which would be better than any Metal Gear Solid game.
Hey!
A Minecraft movie. Missile Command. Monster Hunter, Monument Valley, which is kind of a weird game.
Yeah.
Another Mortal Kombat movie, a Portal movie, Rainbow Six, Raving Rabbids.
What the fuck? What? Why Rainbow Six? Why Raving Rabbids? What?
Rent a Hero, Japanese action RPG.
Yeah, that one makes sense actually. Yeah, no, I can totally see that one being a thing.
Yeah, there's a reboot to the Resident Evil franchise.
Oh God, why?
Is it gonna be good this time?
It's gonna be produced by James Wan, who made Saw and The Conjuring. So that could be neat. I really like James Wan because I love Saw. Shinobi, Sleeping Dogs, which nobody's thought of since 2013. So you're welcome, Sega. I just said Sleeping Dogs' name. Splinter Cell. Why? Spy Hunter, Streets of Rage, another Super Mario Brothers movie. Probably going to be an animated movie.
I hope. That's the only way that movie's going to be good is if it's animated.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I've heard about this one. The long-discussed prospect of a Tetris movie adaptation.
What the fuck?
The only way that's going to work is if it's going to be psychedelic or some shit.
This one could be genuinely good. Thief?
Thief? Oh, yeah.
Thief should be good. Thief is the movie that's... Again, Thief is also going to be one of those movies that's either it's good or bad.
There's one game I thought off the top of my head. I haven't played in forever, but I thought it was like, oh, I like the story of it. It was Not a Hero.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, this would be perfect for a movie because you're trying to be the mayor of the city taking down criminals left and right, and all he ever talks about after the missions is having milkshakes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a good concept of a fucking awesome movie, but no one's doing anything. Like, shit. Like, it's a cool video game, yeah, but I'm like, man, this could be a really hardcore R, like, oh, this guy's cartoony, but guts is everywhere. Like, it could be that movie. Like, fuck.
The last two on this list are Uncharted and a Ubisoft VR game called Werewolves Within, which I've never heard of. But, of that list, which one would you go see in theaters? My money's on Tetris.
Oh, God.
I abstain from giving an answer to that because I haven't seen any content related to any of these things yet. However,
I don't think there's any content for this shit.
However, I would throw my money behind...
a lot of it says there's just talks about it.
Yeah, I would throw my money behind a Gears of War or the Call of Duty one. Maybe the Rainbow Six one as well.
I would
because it depends upon which kind of Call of Duty they're going for and which Gears, if they're going to go for following Marcus, which is the wrong thing to do, or if they're going to do Gears of War where it's like, oh yes, this is another front that they're fighting, a different front. That's the way to make like games related to franchises about warfare work. Is you do different fronts. Modern War. If they do Modern Warfare
front from Canada.
No. Jesus Christ, no. The way they make Call of Duty is they go with Modern Warfare 2, and they go with the they do with the front in like Florida and like the Eastern Seaboard and stuff like that, and they show like a combat situation there. If they do Rainbow Six has by far some of the best thing. It's an elite team of counter-terrorist organizations that have all grouped together like their best individuals into this team, and you can do just so much with this. You can do like counter-terrorist movements of like that are hacking like banks and stuff like that. You're dealing with terrorists who are like trying to hijack stuff. You're dealing with terrorists who have kidnapped you can like do so much with Rainbow Six. Like that has like the best potential I think out of all of them.
I would like to see this Metal Gear Solid movie. I'm looking at the like this article, and it says that Derek Connolly has been hired to work on a draft of a screenplay, and he has also created Kong Skull Island, Jurassic World, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, I don't know if you've seen Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, or if you know anything about it.
Jurassic Kingdom Fallen World?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, and I was just really curious.
It's a really bad Jurassic World movie.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty interesting Metal Gear Solid movie.
Really?
Yeah, at one point, like halfway through the film, because it's basically supposed to be a remake of the second Jurassic Park, which was not a sequel to Jurassic Park, but it was a remake of a completely different movie from the 20s called The Lost World, where that's why it's called The Lost World Jurassic Park. It's because they brought dinosaurs from Jurassic Park to like New York. So it's like dinosaurs running amok in cities. And so they kind of wanted to remake that with Fallen Kingdom. And then, for whatever fucking reason, they threw in a side plot about dinosaur-human hybrids. And so, like, these half-dinosaur people with, like, machine guns were running around.
Hold up, what?
Yeah.
Yeet.
That was a thing.
That's a real thing that happened in a movie.
Is this the new Jurassic World?
The most recent Jurassic World movie, Fallen Kingdom. Was about half
had
dinosaur
scalies
human,
in it.
it had scalies in it.
Scalies in it.
Yep. So like that could be that's already the plot of Metal Gear Solid. Like I guarantee it.
Oh god. Are scalies or no wait, hold
scalies
on. Are furries in general just penetrating media now and they're going like, I'm gonna fucking put my agenda on this movie?
Get your tentacles ready.
It's gonna be a fun time when they make an actual good movie for once. What?
Man, there's so many video games that like man. Actually, you know that weird pinball game for the GameCube, Odama?
Yeah.
Yep.
I want that a movie.
Yeah. Like Pinball Wizard.
Give me the Pinball Wizard Odama.
Odama Wizard.
He has a microphone, like a magical microphone he has to speak into in order to do any freaking commands to do anything. Shift left, shift right, left flipper, left flipper! God.
I would like to see a movie based off the PlayStation 2 game Lifeline.
That'd be a good idea.
That'd be a good movie.
That would be a great movie because...
Oh man, I don't think that would ever get made.
Never would be cool.
I would love to see it get made, but I don't think it ever will.
Okay.
Oh man, what a shitty game.
Anyways.
I think we're done. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you everyone for listening to the Black Mind Podcast. I hope everyone had fun. You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmindgames.podbean.com. And have a good night.
Good night.
All right, Jeff, I'm recording this just so you know. Delete all the stuff before the sync. You don't have to just delete that.